All right, folks. I want to show you guys my current workflow for making websites or editing or coding with AI. There's a few procedures that I find quite refined and interesting, and I'll show you what tools I'm using. Let me take you through the project I'm currently working on. This was just like a weekend side project. Where do you take your dogs in Hong Kong? So recently, Hong Kong is allowing dogs to go into restaurants, and they have a website, the government's website, which looks pretty awful. And I want to make a website that's much more catered, like a much better directory of the restaurants and also kind of the verification and location of the restaurants. This is something I've been working on just like very quickly, but let me show you the flow and the process of how I would work on this now and what tools I'm using to make this better. So first and foremost, I use Codex a lot actually. The reason why is because Codex has a good browser and annotation features, and it's really good at kind of like fixing problems. Let's say, for example, this website still looks really ugly, right? And the pet-friendly malls, like right now, if you look at this page here, these two, this is, oh, sorry, I don't, no, I don't want that. This is too compressed. Let's make this single column and as this is important. So I can make notes and I can let GPT 5.5 fix it. We actually have the Hive plan, so I kind of think that this is actually more or less we even finish using it, so I feel like GPT is pretty generous, especially if you don't use GPT extra high or whatnot. It's pretty good at fixing your problems, and I liked how it's just like fast. Like you can have a multiple chats agents up to fix your problems, and it works really well with the browser side by side. So I can just like check out locally like what I don't like, highlight that, and send that to GPT for it to fix. So yeah, here's the agents underway. It's fixing the files, and it's really good at drone work. Let's say, for example, even like on this side, like I feel like I actually don't like this either. Like this list, we don't really need we don't need fresh. To be fair, we don't really need this. On the front page. So this is good for changing text, and it's good for making sure that this is not AI slop, right? Like obviously there's still a lot of refinement. Anytime you make a website, there's a lot of refinement behind this, and I find this is really good for fixing your mobile displays and everything there. And usually it runs pretty fast. I'll show you that in a sec. But usually GPT edits it, shows it to me, and I'll just go constantly feedback and fix the site. For more complicated issues, now that Fable 5 is out, let's say, for example, in terms of architecture, so I said I want to make this site look good. I gave the purpose of the website, and I said, I want you to give me ideas on architecture design that's easy to work with. Something that's like a very big picture. I have a bunch of requirements. This is really great for Fable 5, right? Fable 5 is really good for designing architecture. It's good for spotting mistakes in your code. GPT is okay for that, but I find like Fable 5, if we really want that extra intelligence, it's like my analogy before was like this is almost like speaking to Albert Einstein. Like you call upon it when you really need to. And you can use it anywhere. I'm just using it in Cursor because Cursor offers it, and it's part of the plan that I have. And it's not very expensive if you just use it to just give a little bit of feedback on your project. So say, for example, we used it a few, like Fable, it's included, and we used it a few times, like Fable 5, thinking it's part of the included part. So it's not that bad. Like we're close to finishing usage, but a lot of times you can just use the high to come up with a plan and come up with a documentation, and then send either GPT or send something else to actually fix the problem. So I would say like make a documentation and then commit update R to do our phase 2 documentation with your new ideas. So something like that would be good. I would just like tell it to put it into a documentation, and then once it's documented, I can call upon this documentation elsewhere with my agents to fix it. So yet again, I can just open something like a new chat with here and check out the documentation with Codex if I'm feeling rich. Or the other alternative that I have is I'm actually using Minimax M3 on a remote Claude Code. This is actually really good for drone tasks. So if you actually look at this project, it's actually relatively huge, right? So what we do with this is like each of these restaurants, it actually needs to collect a lot of data and scrape a lot of data. And there's a huge restaurant list. There's actually hundreds of restaurants that are allowing dogs to go inside. I'm 400 something right now, but it's actually 800, and it's updated on a government list. So after we parse that list and after we got all this information, and I want the articles to be better, because obviously you just can't have like a simple article that the government gives you. Like it needs to have like more information about what this restaurant has. It needs to collect data from multiple sources. We have a site called OpenRice in Hong Kong, which lists details and reviews about a website, and people have reviews and photos and whatnot. And in many ways, what I want on this website is to really just harvest all that information and then kind of summarize it, so it's easy for someone to really know, okay, if this restaurant's good to take their dogs, if it's not. And that's very much drone work, right? This is something that I would say it's if you even if you're using GPT on it, it's not worth it, because it's like so many restaurants, you're gonna burn through your credit. In the end, I decided to Minimax M3 on this. This is great for Minimax. Is great for drone work. The cost is less than the $1 per million tokens. So it's ultra cheap, and their plan is really good for that. So any Chinese model, they're cheap, right? Even like DeepSeek or something like that, to just run this sort of agentic task. So what I did was I actually had a specification document on what I want these documents to have. And yet again, this is generated with Fable 5. Like Fable 5 is good for understanding and creating these documentation, right? And then once the document's out, I can tell Minimax to say, hey, look, generate this according to spec. I also added the Decodal to this. We made a few videos. A few people were wondering, why. Sorry, I'm just commit push and do more articles. So a lot of people were asking why I need the Decodal, right? But for something like this, to harvest information from something like OpenRice actually blocks agents from accessing these sites. And we want to show more reviews. We want to collect more information. We want to collect more photos. So without Decodal, you can't really do that. So I integrated Decodal into this Claude Code instance. I switched this to Minimax M3, and I just let it run. And many times you can just loop it. So you can loop it to run every 10 minutes until all your articles are updated, right? So in that sense, then the website will be complete, whether someone uses it or I use it or whatnot. But at least I have the documentation, I have the restaurants, I have the photos, I have some of the reviews, all in one place instead of just sample auto-generated text, right? You really want a full article here. And I think the best way to do that is with a much cheaper model. So yeah, so let me show you the results of this as well. So this is where you can see that kind of in summary, I use Codex to fix website and designs. I feel like the annotation feature is the best here. Codex actually, like both GPT Codex and Cursor do this. Like Cursor, you can technically open the browser as well, but I do find it's a lot more smooth on Codex. So if you have the plan, if you have the means, if you're willing to pay, Codex is a very smooth experience, and it just works really well. But if you're not willing to pay, one Cursor plan can get you everything, right? It can get you your Fable, and it can get you your browser on the side as well to fix everything. It just, this is up to you. But I find like having this annotation feature and just like, fixing images, even for this, you can just like say this image sucks. Okay, just fix it for me. So usually I'll just like browse through this, go through this, open up the agents to fix these problems. And I think here if I want some images for the parks to make it green tinted, and use our something like that. So you can make it suggested, and also a lot of times One quick tip is like if a website looks ugly, you can just like screenshot it and just say, hey, it looks ugly, remake it for me with Codex, and it just works really well. So that allows you to just make a website really fast. This was like I worked on this for maybe a max like 3-4 hours. But overall, you can come up with something like this. Make your site, make it functional. Try to reduce the slop. I know AI still produces slop, but give it the right specifications, and then it will get the right documentation, the right format for you, and then it won't become slop, right? And then of course, in summary, you can just like do that. Okay, what a large batch. Let's do a large batch. Um, just pick for me whatever. Same as zombie. Okay, there we go. So that's a summary. I know this is a very loaded video, but in summary, TLDR, use Cursor with Fable to give you high-level instructions and documentations on how to do things. Use Codex if you want to fine-tune and have a browser side-by-side to build your stuff. And then lastly, for drone work, writing articles, cycling through, fixing bugs, Minimax M3 is great for that. Very, very cheap. You can get this stuff pumped out. I know I said a few tools, but honestly, if you want to make a website like this, like back in the day, it would have probably cost you like hundreds of dollars just to work with an engineer to make this. But yeah, nowadays with AI, just like in terms of tool calls, you're probably at max spending $10, and then yeah, you got a full functioning website, and hopefully people will enjoy it and help people. So, and maybe if you want to make money and monetize it, put Google ads up. But yeah, that's around it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this overview. If it helped you, tell me. If it's too fast, tell me as well. With that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. See you guys next one, and peace.